What are the 49ers doing, trading up for that third overall draft choice?
He wanted to be in a place that he could play.
When I talk about Shedeur, it's so sensitive because of the passion and desire that I have, not only just for him.
The NFL is in absolute shock as the 49ers push to sign Shedeur Sanders after the crushing injury to Brock Purdy. This potential move could flip the quarterback market upside down. If San Francisco pulls the trigger, it would be one of the boldest and most emotional shakeups of the season.
The truth is finally coming out.
He's a superstar.
This wasn't some random rumor mill stirring the pot. When a source with that kind of reach pushes a story, fans listen, teams pay attention, and suddenly everyone is asking the same question. Could Shedeur Sanders actually land in San Francisco?
Well, the Ravens were preparing to take Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round with the 141st overall selection.
And let's be real here, this isn't just some casual trade chatter. We're talking about a move that could flip the quarterback market upside down. What started as whispers online has now turned into a full-blown storm, and every piece of news seems to make it louder.
When the 49ers first learned of this, or they did their evaluations, they got a second opinion. And then as the week went on, I think the 49ers internally felt like this was maybe a 2 or 3 week injury for Brock Purdy.
The Niners and Niner fans just got the worst news possible on Brock Purdy's injury status.
Why now? The answer is simple. Brock Purdy's injury. Purdy, the steady hand under center for the Niners, has been ruled out with a variant turf toe injury. At first, it sounded like a minor issue, but turf toe is not just a toe injury. It messes with balance, it limits mobility, and for a quarterback who relies on sharp footwork, it can linger far longer than expected. Doctors are saying Purdy could miss anywhere from 2 to 5 weeks, and that kind of gap in the middle of a season can derail everything.
Bed day. Trent Williams won't practice, knee/bed day. Nick Bosa won't practice, bed day. Brock Purdy won't practice, left shoulder, toe. Juwan Jennings won't practice, shoulder. Jordan James, limited finger. Jordan Watkins, limited ankle. Ben Barch, limited knee and elbow.
Timing could not be worse. The 49ers were building momentum, eyeing another deep playoff run, and suddenly their starting quarterback is sidelined. That's when the doubts start creeping in. Is Purdy reliable long-term? Was last season's breakout run the peak? Or is this the first crack in the foundation? Fans don't forget how quickly injuries can end careers. And for a team built to win right now, uncertainty at quarterback is the last thing they need.
We'd love to have 3 guys in the building ready to go. We obviously still got Brock, but he's not going right now. But got some roster issues where we just can't bring one in right away.
The Niners had traded up in that draft.
So the 49ers turn to the next man up. Mac Jones is currently the starter, filling in for Purdy. He's experienced, he's proven he can run an offense, but let's not kid ourselves. He's not electrifying. He's steady, but he doesn't bring the spark that gets a fan base buzzing or keeps defenses awake at night. This is why the noise around Shedeur Sanders has exploded, because when you're chasing a championship, you don't want patches.
As the league has pivoted to offense, and franchises like the Bears and the Steelers that are iconic can't figure out offense, no team in the NFL in 2025 has more tight end, wide receiver talent.
And here's where it gets wild. Reports say that in Cleveland, Sanders isn't even running scout team reps.
If you're in this situation, you want to go to an organization that is going to develop you.
Let that sink in. A quarterback hyped as the future of the franchise is standing on the sidelines, while Bailey Zapp, a recent emergency signing, is getting those reps instead. That doesn't add up. Why keep Sanders on the roster if you're not giving him reps? Why stash him away when your offense needs answers? The only explanation people can come up with, a trade might be in the works.
Adam Schefter, a lot of noise between these teams, and you've uncovered some fascinating news.
Fans have noticed and they're furious. Browns fans are asking why Sanders is being wasted. 49ers fans are shouting for the team to pounce now while the opportunity is on the table. Even rival fan bases are throwing their voices in, pushing their own teams to get into the mix. The demand is growing louder every single day.
Yeah, you want to go somewhere where you compete to be a starter.
Meanwhile, Sanders' popularity off the field is skyrocketing. His jersey sales are climbing, and it's sparking a whole new wave of speculation. Some people believe Cleveland is holding on to him more for the business side than the football side. Jersey money, hype, name recognition, those are powerful motivators. But the Haslams don't need the cash. They own the Browns, they've got deep pockets. So why hold him back if not to move him at the right time for maximum return?
We're planning to select select Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round with the 141st overall selection.
This is where the Sanders situation stops being a simple quarterback debate and turns into a potential franchise-defining move. On one hand, you have a young quarterback with untapped potential stuck in a system that doesn't seem to want to use him. On the other, you've got a team in San Francisco that just lost its starter, has a shaky backup plan, and is desperate to keep its Super Bowl window wide open. Connect the dots, and you see why fans are calling this not just possible, but necessary.
At this point, you're in the 5th round. I understand you had higher hopes, but you've dropped to the 5th round, and you're thinking about being a starting quarterback the next year. I think this is incredibly short-sighted.
The calls are getting louder. Bring in Sanders. Do it before it's too late. They don't want to wait. They don't want to gamble on Tua figuring it out. They see Sanders as that youthful spark, the injection of energy and hope that could stabilize a team desperate for consistency under
big picture predictions. The one that got the most pushback this year is I said I think San Francisco is going to finish 3rd in their division.
The risk for Miami is crystal clear. If they drag their feet, if they wait for Tua to somehow turn it around, they could lose their chance. The 49ers are already sniffing around. Browns ownership wants to keep him, and once the window closes, it's gone. Miami has a choice. Act now or watch Sanders light it up in another city, and you better believe their fans are keeping receipts.
You choose the Cleveland Browns because you think you have a chance to start the next year? And mind you, the Cleveland Browns, who are on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to stability, right? This is the same organization.
And while all this is happening, the Browns drama, the Dolphins chaos, the 49ers speculation, here comes Colin Cowherd dropping his own bomb on national television. Cowherd says flat out, Shedeur Sanders could be starting for the Browns as soon as November. That's not just a hot take for clicks. He laid out the reasoning, and honestly, it makes sense.
I think this is a learning lesson about life, because you just never know. And with this particular situation, I don't want to get too aggressive.
The Browns are losing games. The fan pressure is suffocating. Ownership is practically begging the coaching staff to put Sanders on the field. At some point, the dam is going to break. Stefanski and his staff can't keep deflecting forever. If the Browns keep sliding, they'll be forced to make a move, and Sanders will be thrown into the fire.
While it's certainly not a given, my guess is that probably not a high likelihood.
Cowherd's point was simple. Sanders isn't just a backup. He's not a side project. He's the guy ownership wants as the franchise quarterback of the future. The longer they hold him back, the uglier it's going to get. And November, according to Cowherd, is the breaking point.
There were reports that Shedeur Sanders was struggling in training camp. He was the last quarterback on the depth chart, meaning of all the quarterbacks who were complete ass in Cleveland.
But here's the twist, and that whole timeline could blow up if the 49ers decide they're done waiting. If San Francisco really makes a push, if they dangle the right offer in front of Cleveland, Sanders might never see that November debut. He could be packing his bags for California instead, and suddenly the entire story flips.
Shedeur is not even running scout team. He's literally watching everyone play. Bailey Zappi's running scout team. I don't know if that's true. That's what I'm hearing. Why is he on the team?
That's what makes this saga so insane. On one hand, you've got Cleveland clinging to him as their golden ticket. On the other, Miami fans are begging for him to rescue their season. And then the 49ers, sitting in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, could ruin both those plans in one swoop.
If that's what you think about, because his jersey is selling, the Haslam's don't need jersey money.
So here we are, ownership versus coaching in Cleveland, fan frustration boiling over in Miami, and national voices like Cowherd insisting the clock is ticking. Sanders isn't just another name in the rumor mill anymore. He's the centerpiece of a three-way tug of war, and whichever team wins is going to change the trajectory of their franchise. And that's why every new headline, every slip from a coach, every fumble from Tua, and every report out of San Francisco feels like gasoline on a fire. The NFL isn't just watching this story, it's bracing for an explosion.
It's crazy how much can change in the NFL in the span of a few weeks.
The tension in Cleveland is no longer behind closed doors. The Haslam family is all in on Shedeur Sanders, determined to make him the face of the franchise. They see him as the future, the star who can finally give Cleveland stability under center. But the coaching staff and front office are dragging their feet, buying time, and doing everything they can plan to delay his debut. That clash is spilling into the public, fueling a toxic storm of rumors and frustration. The truth? Cleveland can't stall forever. A decision is coming, and it's going to define the franchise.
Yet none of us can look at Shedeur Sanders and find extreme fault.
Meanwhile, San Francisco hovers like a shark in the water. On paper, Sanders makes perfect sense. Young, explosive, already a jersey-selling machine. But let's be honest, he's untested at the pro level, he's already surrounded by drama, and his price won't be cheap. The Niners have gambled before with Trey Lance. Do they risk another bold swing, or do the Browns slam the door shut before it happens? This is bigger than one player. Sanders has become the X factor of the NFL, the lightning rod exposing cracks everywhere. Browns ownership versus coaching, Dolphins fans versus Tua, and 49ers urgency versus long-term patience.
Since joining the Bucs, right? How many starting quarterbacks? There's been 700 starting quarterbacks in the last 20 years for the Cleveland Browns. This makes zero sense.
The next few weeks will be absolutely make or break. Brock Purdy's injury timeline looms large. The Browns are staring down losses, and the Dolphins are growing desperate by the day. The real question is, who strikes first? Do the 49ers pull off a shocking move for Shedeur Sanders, or does Cleveland finally unleash him and silence the rumors once and for all? One thing is certain, this saga is nowhere near done. Drop your thoughts below. Would you trade for Sanders, or is he staying put in Cleveland? This story is only getting hotter. Like this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel to get more updates.